For first home buyers, getting into the property market can be very hard, especially in the inner city where the tiniest of houses can go for staggering amounts of money. Now, if you're in that position, then you probably know some other people who are as well. So here's a thought. Why not pool your resources and buy something together? It can work. It did for the owners of this building, and we're going to find out how. Neil Mackenzie, his partner Heidi Pronk, along with sister Julie and a couple of other friends, bought this old mechanics workshop and converted it into 3 apartments and a studio office.
We wanted to buy an apartment, we wanted to get access to the Sydney housing market, and the idea of buying a warehouse building using our skills in architecture and in cleaning bricks and things like that to create apartments for ourselves.
Being very particular about what they wanted and where, the search ended up taking over 2 years. Then one day, they stumbled across an old mechanic shop that was up for sale.
There was a concrete slab on the floor, which is buried below this, and there was some dunnies in Julie's courtyard out the back, and out the front there was a small office, and then there was a few kind of curious items like a vice and some mechanical things.
The 5 architects then set about turning the building into a comfortable space where all of them could live. So there's 5 architects. Obviously you got similar but different visions. How did you guys make any decisions?
Well, I mean, we've got mechanisms of dealing with each other, as Heidi's my partner and Julie's my sister, and the other 2 involved were both good friends. It doesn't mean we didn't have great fights and disagreements in the process.
Because of the high roof, there was enough space for 2 levels in each apartment. A bedroom, a bathroom and a study up top, and the living areas down below. Now, with houses on both sides, it meant that they couldn't put windows into the side walls. So what they did to overcome that problem was put in these huge walls of glass that just flood the interior with natural light. The doors on both sides fold right back, so there's a seamless transition from the living areas to the decked courtyard. But probably my favourite feature of this building are the reminders of the lives it's had in the past. Most obvious are the rough brick walls and also these exposed timber beams.
The building had been a mechanics workshop since the 1920s, and it retained original trusses, line shafting, the brickwork. It just sort of had a patina of age that really appealed to us, and the sorts of work that we do generally is inserting sort of really modern things inside heritage buildings, and so it was really appropriate for us to keep as much as we could, I guess.
So what advice would you have for a group of people wanting to do something similar?
Make sure you have a good relationship to start with, I guess.
And an agreement in place. You do need to have an agreement, really, so that if anything does go wrong.
Ways of people leaving and staying so within that agreement.
Yeah.
And that requires, some legal advice or, good legal minds.
Now, an inner city warehouse conversion may not be your cup of tea, but it does go to show you that if you think a little bit laterally and maybe pool your resources like these guys have, well, owning your own home doesn't have to be completely out of reach.